Okay, so we're going to talk today about opera and why I like opera and why I think a lot of people don't really give it a chance. Opera is like art on steroids, and it is the most, in my opinion, expressive form of art that is out there. And it provides an opportunity to express things that film, a regular narrative film or a play or an everyday song can't accomplish, because it takes really complex emotional scenarios and pulls them together into one harmonic, rhythmic, musical experience. And I want to talk a little bit today about how that happens by example. So we're going to listen to some opera, and then we're going to talk about it. The opera we're going to listen to is this first scene from Mozart's Don Giovanni. Now, before it begins, the first person that shows up in this scene is Don Giovanni's assistant. His name is Leporello. Now, Leporello is a bit of a silly person. He's oafish. He's stuck in a job working for this personality, Don Giovanni, who he thinks is atrocious. And he is atrocious. Don Giovanni is a cad. He is a libertine. This is supposedly taking place in the 1700s. And he's an aristocrat who takes advantage of his social position to have his way with as many women as possible. And he is currently in the house of a woman by the name of Donna Anna. We don't really know what's happening with him and Donna Anna, but we assume that perhaps it's very untowardly, and that maybe he's raping her, or at the very least, in modern terms, sexually assaulting her. But the scene opens with Leporello standing outside complaining because he's out there keeping guard, and he doesn't like standing out being the watchman while the other one's inside having fun. And he's going to express this. So now what I want you to do is think about, well, okay, how do I express this both musically and vocally in a way that captures the mood that I've just described of a sort of a comic, tragic figure.
Dove vento sopportar, mangia male mai dormir. Voglio farvi gentil guarda, e non voglio più servir, e non voglio più servir. No, non voglio servir.
So, there he is singing about how he doesn't like to be sitting outside in the cold, working a job where he doesn't eat well, doesn't sleep well, and he wants to play the part of a gentleman, and then doesn't want to be the servant any longer. So he's saying, and I don't want to be the servant. Io non voglio più servir, no longer wish to serve. No, no, no. So, and he sings one more time. I want to be a gentleman. I don't want to serve anymore. No voglio più servir. Finish listening to that.
Ah, che caro galantuomo, tu vuoi sorgendo cogli bella, e io far la sentinella, la sentinella, la sentinella.
Oh my God, he sees somebody coming. They're gonna hide. He's gonna hide. I don't want to be a servant. So he sees somebody coming, and he goes to hide. And here comes Donna Anna. So Donna Anna has walked out screaming after Don Giovanni, because even though he has assaulted her somehow in some sexual manner, she hasn't had a chance to figure out who he is, because he kept his face covered the whole time. So she's chasing after him saying, "Tell me who you are." And he's saying, "Get away from me, woman. Leave me alone. I'm not going to let you know who I am." Now we start to get to the bit where we can see how all this emotion can start to happen at once in an opera. In a play or in a movie, we have to keep everything separate. We focus on the guy trembling behind the bush, but we hear the voices of the two people arguing, one after the other. But if they argue at the same time, or they all three talk at the same time, we don't understand any of it. But here, Mozart takes the frustrations of Leporello, the anger of Donna Anna, and the exhortations of Don Giovanni to her to leave her alone, and combines all three of them together. And we hear all three. So what would have been cacophony becomes harmony. And he does a wonderful thing using the Italian lyrics, and you can hear it. She's calling him a villain, scellerato, and he's calling her a foolish woman, consigliata. But there's similar words, so when she's saying scellerato and he's saying consigliata, they come together and it becomes this beautiful thing that when they say it at the same time, it's a new thing that's clear and expressive. It's not just a mush of two words. It's a new emotional experience that's been created that can only be done in this sort of in this operatic manner. So, and then in the background you can hear the servant complaining. That's Leporello in the back saying this libertine is going to be the end of it. Now, you hear that voice? He's singing La Sciala Indegno. This is the voice of Donna Anna's father. He's called Commendatore, and he has just shown up on the scene. All this, of course, is taking place outside of the house of his house. And he has shown up, and he sees his daughter fighting with Don Giovanni. When she sees her father arrive, she runs into the house, and the Commendatore challenges Don Giovanni. Lasciala indego, batimeco, he says. Leave her be, wretch, and duel with me. And Don Giovanni is going to argue with him out of arrogance, telling him that he will not stoop to fight with somebody like you. Now, let's capture the emotion just of that part and see if we can hear how Mozart solves the problem of a father standing up to a arrogant libertine. Don Giovanni says, "Fine, you will die." And so now they fight. Swords flashing, fighting, and Don Giovanni stabs him. The Commendatore realizes he's been fatally wounded. Okay, let's take stock of that moment, what just happened here. The three of them are now singing in what is one of the most dramatic possible of all moments. Here's this poor old man who was trying to stand up for his daughter. Here's Don Giovanni, who was just trying to have in his mind, a good time. And here's poor Leporello, who's just stuck there trying to serve this outlandish master. And suddenly it escalates into a fight, and Commendatore has been killed. And he realizes, he's singing out as he's laying on the floor, oh, the extraordinary sorrow of dying alone, you know. And he's describing his death. And Leporello's singing, what a tragedy, what a crime. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And Don Giovanni's actually shocked. He says, oh, here, this villain has fallen. He's gasping and breathing his last. And so Don Giovanni's describing what he's seeing. The Commendatore is expressing what it feels like to die. And Leporello is expressing the horror of it. The first thing you hear is, "A soccorso," the Comandante crying out for help in that second that he realizes he's dead. So again, the challenge of bringing all three of these things together in a moment that's deeply powerful and emotional. Let's hear it again. Don Giovanni and the Commendatore are both singing at the same time about seeing and feeling the soul, parting, leaving the body. So, there you have it. Opera is a way to create and bring to life complex emotional experiences that an ordinary theatrical presentation would simply render too chaotically. But in opera it becomes this extraordinary mix and blend of music. So I hope this was interesting and fun and helpful, and I will talk to you later.